Well, welcome everybody. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting developments in the history of downtown over the Rhine. We are going to build right now, between now and springtime, the most pedestrian-friendly, outdoor dining-friendly, walkable downtown in the Midwest, by far. My goal is when people come back down here in May, after everyone's been vaccinated and the weather is nice, and we've got opening day for the Reds and opening day for FCC, people won't even recognize how much the streetscape, the walkability has improved. And not just improved in the abstract, but adjacent to and supporting these wonderful restaurants like Pep and Dolores and Sacred Beast and Nostalgia and so many others. I know Jean-Francois was here, Taste of Belgium, etc. Ruby's at 7th Street. And everything up and down Vine and Main Street, etc. It's very exciting. Unfortunately, I increasingly used to be the youngest person around. Now I'm one of the middle-aged people around. And so people may not remember this, but 18 years ago, I proposed that we pedestrianize Main Street. And for whatever reason, politically, there wasn't any support for it. But there's a season for everything. And now is the season. And at that time, we didn't have the kinds of restaurants and reinvestment that we have now. And we're going to pedestrianize this alley. We're going to expand and permanently eliminate the lanes where the orange barrels are now. So if you just think about that, we got a map for everybody. We're handing out the map, right? We have a map. But basically, wherever you see the stuff now, the outdoor dining, we're going to make that into permanent, either sidewalk or beautiful platform that makes sense based on the restaurateur's preference and gas electric issues, things of that nature. But it is going to be awesome. And I'll also say that, we know we got a tough COVID winter ahead of us. People who have pre-existing conditions have got to be careful. And a lot of people are working from home. And I know I've always been annoyed when I was trying to get to work and everything's torn up, all the streets torn up for construction that never seems to end. But now's the time. Now's the time to rip up the streets and build this streetscape, build this pedestrian-friendly footprint. With 3CDC's help, we already have Court Street under construction. With 3CDC's help, we already have Macy's on Fountain Square under construction. 4th and Race is starting to look beautiful. And of course, we're going to partner with 3CDC to make this happen too. So I want to thank everybody, and in particular, I want to call to the podium Matt Butler and Amy Spiller. Matt Butler first, and then Amy Spiller, and then we'll hear from some of our restaurateurs. But Matt Butler of the DeVue Good Foundation and Amy Spiller of Duke are putting money into this plan to make this happen quickly so that by spring we'll all be outside, vaccinated, and having a good time. So with that, I ask Matt Butler to come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be out and about with all of you today. It feels a little strange to me. I feel like I should be sitting in my basement with one eye on a Zoom call and the other on my toilet paper stash. In all seriousness, these are tough times for many of our fellow citizens. The saying goes, it's always darkest before dawn. Hopefully what we're announcing today is a small sliver of light for people struggling in our community, especially restaurateurs, their employees, and contractors. Today, we are reimagining our street's potential. Restaurants are soon to be transforming parking spaces into vibrant outdoor dining rooms with light, art, and greenery. What once generated a few nickels in parking fees will now generate jobs. Jobs not just at the restaurants themselves, but for many of the companies that will choose to operate here and hire employees here. Some side streets have already closed and now provide a safe place for children to play while their parents catch up with friends over coffee. In a year of unthinkable loss and suffering, it's shared hope for a better future. In order to realize our street's full potential, We must also focus on more urgent tasks. We must protect everyone in our region, especially the most vulnerable users of our roads, people walking, people riding bikes, and people using wheelchairs. After making some progress last year, the number of people injured while walking and biking on our roads has increased. The city is dealing with more reckless drivers during the pandemic, and speed is the main cause. Other cities such as Montreal, Austin, and Carmel, Indiana have shown the way forward, and I'm optimistic we will rise to the challenge. And it's going to take you, the citizens, to continually push for change. Our foundation would like to thank Derek Baumann for helping to imagine what could be and tirelessly advocating for the city and its citizens. We would not be here today if not for Derek. Thank you.
Thank you. Our area is so fortunate to have an eclectic array of bars and restaurants in Cincinnati and over the Rhine. Establishments that at their very core are gathering places, always providing unique experiences while at the same time a sense of community. But the world changed in March. The creativity, the compassion for which our restaurateurs and barkeeps are known was put to the test. And the response was remarkable. From Jose Salazar at Mita's, turning that restaurant into an emergency relief center for restaurant workers, to the Thunderdome Group, creating their own relief fund for affected employees, to so many other restaurateurs doing what they do best, feeding others, but doubled down on that commitment to make sure others were fed first. We all benefited from their creativity, from their compassion. And so this was an easy decision for us at Duke Energy to support the streetery projects. And I applaud Mayor Cranley for his vision, for his commitment to our community. And I'm confident that with him and 3CDC at the helm, there will be wonderful things born out of this endeavor. And I look forward to that day when we can all gather again together and celebrate. Thank you.
Thanks again to Duke Energy and to DeVue for putting your money where your mouth is for this great project. And now, and I'll just call them all three up now so that they can come up without having to be interrupt in between. We'll go Joe Lonnie, Jeremy Lieb, and Tammy Scott.
Hi, my name is Joe Lonnie. I'm one of the co-founders of the Thunderdome Restaurant Group. I wanted to start out by thanking the mayor and 3CDC, as well as DeVue Good and Duke, for their partnership and innovation. Really, if you guys remember, we were one of the first cities in the country, not just the region, that had expanded outdoor dining when things started opening back up, and that was really forward thinking. It's happening all over the place now. I want to thank our team and the industry workers for being here and being safe every day. And most of all, I want to thank the people of Cincinnati. We really felt the love this year, so thank you. Thank you. Expanded outdoor dining has really been a lifeline for my company, but also for the entire industry here in Cincinnati. A lot of the restaurants and bars that you enjoy frequenting might not be around if it weren't for this initiative and initiatives like this. They have really brought vibrancy that to neighborhoods that would otherwise feel, just a little dead and a little quiet. So making it permanent is going to have an even bigger impact on that situation, and I can't wait to see how it all turns out. That said, winter is here. The next 90 days are going to be tough, so thank you for your support, but please continue going out, supporting local businesses. Go to that pizza shop you've never been to. Go to the card shop on the corner. Come to my restaurants. Come to other people's restaurants. It's going to be a while until we get to spring, and we need to get to spring to be able to enjoy all the new expanded outdoor dining. I also just want to say that restaurants are safe. I'll say it one more time. Restaurants are safe. There's been almost no contact tracing that's pointed to restaurants. There's been no community spread in any of our restaurants, and any of the other ones that I've spoken to, it's the same thing. Employees are not trading this at work because we're doing the right things and we are being safe. It's a safe place to be. The science does not point to this. And I can tell you right now, Cincinnati area restaurants are doing it as well or better than anywhere else I've been. So, you know, keep that in mind. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you guys indoor and outdoor in the spring when we get all these new spots opened up. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jeremy Lieb. I'm the co-founder of Sacred Beast. And being in the restaurant business, every seat counts. So I'd like to take a moment and say thank you to the city for their swift actions, give us the ability to be, to survive this pandemic. I'm a owner of a restaurant and a resident of OTR, and it's pretty amazing to be part of this what's going on today about making all this outdoor dining and seating permanent. It's going to give us the ability in the future to thrive, but also to survive and get past, this hump we need to get through. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here today and being part of this, and it's going to help us get through all this. Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tammy Scott. I am the co-owner of Nostalgia Wine and Jazz Lounge here in OTR. And in opening the doors of Nostalgia this summer, we wanted to bring people together around shared passions. We wanted to remind them of our history and showcase the vibrancy of local artists. We've been warmly welcomed by OTR and the Cincinnati community, and it's obvious that people appreciate the opportunity that businesses within the hospitality industry provide for people to come together. Despite the isolation created by COVID-19, it's more obvious how much our community wants and needs spaces to gather and gather safely, which is why we're super excited about today's announcement. Creating the infrastructure for small businesses like ours is critical fuel that enables us to bring people downtown and keep them coming back again and again. It helps us entrepreneurs do our part to maintain and sustain a community we're all proud to call home. And doing so at scale means that businesses can better support each other and create new opportunities for future entrepreneurs, creating a virtuous cycle of success. We're extremely thankful and really honored to be a part of this announcement today. And we want to thank Mayor Cranley, the leadership of 3CDC, and everyone else who's been involved in making all of this happen. Thank you.
A couple of logistical points. We will be introducing the legislation with several $million from the TIF districts to pay for the public infrastructure that will be part of this plan. In all cases, it'll be matched by private enhancements, so we'll pay for the sidewalk. Obviously, restaurants will pay for their own tables, that kind of thing. And we got to move quick. I was very proud, as Joe pointed out, that as soon as they said outdoor dining was available, in less than 5 days, we were able to get these barriers up, and we beat to the punch every other city in the Midwest to give our restaurants a fighting chance to hold on during this COVID. And similarly now, when the weather does come out nice and it's opening day for FCC and the Reds, we don't want everything to be under construction still. And so we got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. And so I'm going to ask them and ask all of you to ask City Council to move quickly, quicker than they might otherwise move, and for people to understand that this is the time to be impatient for action, because we need that action to be wrapped up before it gets warm again in the spring. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
It's hard to see how robust this is to make it the best in the Midwest. How do we visualize that?
Well, obviously, at some point, as Potter Stewart said, you'll know it when you see it, right? When it actually is built out. But, fundamentally, right now, you see all this temporary barrels through downtown and over the Rhine, which look haphazard, right? Done quickly. So this will be either permanent sidewalks or these platform things. And I think we had an image of them somewhere. We can email you one for the TV. It's a nice looking image. Yeah. I think we got pictures somewhere, but they're beautiful anyway. And so you can see that. But in addition to where the restaurants are, you know, you think about this street, you think about 14th Street, think about 15th Street, think about where Zula is and Low Spark and Salazar, and thinking about, and then imagine, if you would, European cities like Paris or Bordeaux, you know, Munich, you know, places that have, you know, a history of really having enormous pedestrian-friendly space without interruption, at least on nights and weekends, if not permanently. And frankly, we're the only city in the Midwest, as Winston Churchill said, the most beautiful city in the Midwest, that has the architecture that gives you that European feel. And so we're going to be, you know, we're going to have that old world charm here in the Midwest in a way that is more visible, because it'll reflect more of that pedestrian experience for those who have traveled to those kinds of cities. But let's not forget that in addition to what you're seeing there, doesn't include the dramatic enhancements that we're making right now on Liberty Street behind me, on Court Street in front of me, on around Macy's at Fountain Square, the old Macy's retail establishment. Plus, we may have additional announcements coming down the road. So, trust me when I tell you, it's gonna look a lot different.
Estimated cost, do you know, Mayor?
$2 million for this first phase, yeah. I think we'll have at least 2 more.
This sounds great for this area. Fantastic. Spoke with Chris Breeden, Arnold, Thursday. Obviously, you can't do this on 8th. Or 10th.
Well, I don't think we could do all of 8th Street, but we could take a lane of traffic, and we could take the lane that's closest to Arnold's and do an expansion for him there. I think that's on-street parking now anyway. So, you know, he may not want to give up that option, but we would certainly work with him to try to make that happen.
What do you say to the other restaurants who are not in this area to hold on? Or, and Chris did say that the city is doing a good job, but is there anything more? Like heaters?
Look, yeah, we want to do this in other neighborhoods. I mean, you know, there's tents up in Hyde Park Square right now, and you know, last time we did a major announcement, we were in Westwood when we announced the stimulus money for the restaurants. So, you know, you got Muse in Westwood Square that's already operating in Westwood Town Hall Park, in the park space there. So we want to adapt with every neighborhood to find what they can. But I do think the opportunity right now for downtown over the Rhine is unique because of remote work. Meaning, you know, we all know that right now, because of COVID, that there are a lot of people not coming down who normally will and will come back. And so it's the perfect time to do this construction when it won't be as disruptive as it would be in normal times.
They're not coming down because the events have
Because what?
the events have been canceled.
Well, not just the events, but people who work in the office towers all day are working, a lot of them are working remotely. But they'll be back in May, and when they come back, I want them to see a brand new downtown.
When they come back, you want to see a brand new downtown. But what about the people that's out here living downtown?
Yeah, I think a vibrant downtown that brings jobs for all is good for all. Yeah, sir.
There have been some complaints about permits for these tents being up to like $1,000.
I can't even drive down my street.
Do you think those fees are doing anything to help out some of the restaurants?
We'll look at all that. You know, I'm not at liberty to answer that specific question, but certainly we will look at to be as friendly as we can be.
There's a question about parking. I am curious. Obviously, it's going to be challenging out here anyway. This will take away some spots. What do you say to those folks that are worried about parking?
Look, no one likes to deal with parking annoyances. At the same time, if you got a parking problem, that's usually a good sign. It means that people are trying to get downtown, and we want everybody to feel like they're getting back downtown with a vibrant opportunity as soon as it's safe and warm again.
There are a lot of residents that live on above some of these streets here who have had off-street or on-street parking to be able to get to their place. Is there any allowance for the people who live here to be able to have a place to park to live down there?
Well, first of all, there's no entitlement to park on the city-owned streets, and there are plenty of garages, especially for people who live down here, and we will certainly work with them as they come down here. But people who have bought into and rent in downtown Over the Rhine, we're essentially moving into an urban environment that's not about having a car in a garage right next to your home. So it's a different lifestyle choice. And if people want to have their car in a garage in a driveway, they'll probably pick a different neighborhood than downtown Over the Rhine. Thank you all very much.